Hey everyone, welcome into episode number 6 of Cashin the Check. I am your president, Tyler Asher from the Small Business Development Center.
And I am your vice president, Tiffany Anton from the Biz Foundry.
If you
Episode 6.
Episode 6.
If you haven't liked, subscribed, left a review,
share,
you should go do that.
Watch in full, give us some comments.
Let us know. Tell the Upper Cumberland how amazing Cashin the Check is.
Just the Upper Cumberland. Tell the world about us. Make us go viral.
Yeah, that's your big goal with this, is to go viral. So if anybody really cares about Tyler Asher, they, as he sadly drinks his Kool-Aid, they would really make sure that they show some love.
I'm just passionate about what we do. You know, and the whole world needs to know what we do.
And I think that I want to spread a little joy is what I want.
We have a lot of fun doing this. This is like an ever-changing podcast. Like
it is. We roll with it.
We just want you to stay tuned just to see what changes every time.
Well, and Easter eggs, right? We talked about hiding Easter eggs around like Disney does. I don't know.
We just hide Easter eggs in our podcast, so.
Right, so you just figure out what they are. And
Speaking of eggs, it's time to get our ducks in a row.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack.
Oh.
Eggs. Do ducks lay eggs? I'm not a farm girl whatsoever. I don't know.
I know chickens lay eggs. I don't know. Do ducks lay eggs?
I don't know.
Comment below.
Let us know. I don't know anything about farms. And
I can't remember who does eggs and like live births and I don't remember all that.
I feel like you could have. Were you a farm person?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. My brother, like they have a farm, but
4-H, were they in 4-H and stuff?
I did win the 4-H speech contest when I was in 4th grade.
I don't understand. This is totally not.
Maybe that's why I like to talk.
To cash in the check, but why 4-H speech? What I don't get what one has to do with the other.
I think the whole thing was just like learning how to speak in public, writing a speech.
Do farmers have to speak in public very often?
I mean, I don't know.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Comment below, I guess.
Interestingly enough, if you really think about farms as a business,
yes,
somebody has to get in front of people and
to buy their grain or soybeans or whatever they're selling.
They got to be. They have to have a marketing person that's getting it out there.
I don't know. I just got my ribbon. I remember that's been a long time ago.
A little bit. You had more hair back then.
Yeah. Gosh.
On that note, we're gonna do business one-liners. You ready for these? When my boss asked me who is the stupid one, me or him, I told him everyone knows he doesn't hire stupid people. But boom, I'm great at multitasking. I can waste time, be unproductive, and procrastinate all at once.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I can't believe I got fired from the calendar factory. All I did was take a day off.
It's like being number one in the number two business right there.
That's right. I have a few jokes about unemployed people, but it doesn't matter. None of them work. They're so stupid. I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. Maybe that's a little edgy.
Hey, I got one for you.
Inappropriate.
What do you call a pharmacist?
I don't know.
A legalized drug dealer.
Speaking of shoelaces, teamwork is important. It helps put the blame on someone else. I feel like,
I've got a good.
Yes, okay.
Let's go with a good one. My daughter loves this joke. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
How do you make a Kleenex dance?
Put a little boogie in it.
Why couldn't Elsa hold on to the balloons? Because she let it go.
If anybody was looking for Tyler to sing this morning, there was his singing debut on Cashin the Check. All right, one last business one, or are we just going to tell jokes in general?
I don't know. I just like to laugh.
I have some great knock-knock jokes, but my boss is going to fire the employee with the worst posture. I have a hunch it might be me. No. Let me sit up a little straighter on that.
I'm going to scoot my chair just a little bit here.
Don't. Like, you're going to get in trouble for moving the chair.
I know. The camera's going to be all messed up, and Luke's going to be like, oh.
Yeah, he's going to get in trouble.
So let's jump into this big picture. It is a hot topic. It is one I've wanted to discuss because
this is like the first topic.
This is the first topic,
and I got a little scared.
Yes.
And so now that maybe
we're 6 episodes in,
we've ruffled the waters a little bit, and so we can get into this one.
This is why I like this podcast, because we're going to talk about topics that are controversial,
real and raw is what you like to say,
and they need to be discussed. I feel like, and this topic is, does sex sell? I want to talk about this because I'm a firm believer that it does.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Prove you wrong. I don't know that I can prove you wrong, but I guess tell me what you mean by that.
So, like, I've noticed this. Christian spent a long time in the insurance business, and I feel like some of the females in that profession far exceeded their male counterparts because maybe they were attractive, maybe they did certain. I'm not going down that road, but I think that people did business with them based upon their appearance. I don't know, maybe the way they dressed, and then we can even go further. Like, I've heard statistics from pharmaceutical companies where they would send in attractive females into doctors' offices because they knew that they could sell the product.
What if it was their personalities, their sparkling personalities? Women have, especially insurance, there's a little bit of like TLC that's maybe needed, of like wanting somebody to like care for you, and maybe is it sex, or is it kind of the mom syndrome? Like, is it the fact that, whether or not they're super attractive, or just women have that TLC characteristic a little bit more?
I don't know. That's a good question. I just feel like in certain scenarios that sex will sell far above other things. I don't know why.
Well, of course, in certain industries, right? Of course, if you're selling swimsuits,
yeah,
you're gonna use that to your advantage.
Yes. We can go down the same avenue.
Oh my gosh.
What
You're making me
advantages?
nervous.
Like, what advantages does that have in certain? Like you said, what advantages does that have in certain areas?
So, what do you mean? Like
swimsuits? You talk about that.
Yeah. So, what advantage does it? I mean, obviously, you're gonna, and I think that the society is changing slightly of having different body shapes and sizes and looks be appealing and swimsuit wear, but in the flip side of that, it's not changing in the men's world.
No,
you're not having big and tall guys doing swimsuit modeling.
No, you don't.
Is that bad? Is that sexist in itself?
I mean, I kind of feel like it maybe is to a certain point. I'm not the guy that's got 6 packs. I got protection over mine. But I mean, to certain people, I think, they do feel left out.
So do you think that the society has focused so much on empowering women and showing that all sorts of women are beautiful? Do we need to remember that all men are beautiful too? Or men don't worry about it as much?
I think men don't worry about it as much, or they're not as forthcoming maybe as females would be. So,
well, I'm gonna throw this out there a little bit. You do not have hair on the top of your head.
No, I don't.
And that's sometimes a very self-conscious place for men to be.
I've learned to embrace it.
Your sexy bald head, is that kind of how you?
I used to have it all like spiked up
and you just pretended that there was
no,
more.
I got married and had 3 kids and it just went away.
Yes. But I mean, you don't see men that have your hairstyle in advertising.
No.
But I think maybe men just don't think about it less.
Probably.
So marketing companies, marketing people know that they're selling to women more often than men.
So do you consider that like a good marketing strategy? Like if you run with that?
I think that marketing is a little icky sometimes. Let's be honest, is that marketing is looking to a problem or a weakness that needs to get solved, whether that be that you want to look prettier or feel prettier, or, use this product and look like the person in the product or in the ad. It's all a little icky because they're always kind of honing into a soft spot or a weakness.
Correct.
But I think that's just the way it works, and that's the way that marketing happens, and you're going to buy into something that you need help with or desire services with. And so if it ends up using more attractive people in advertising, I think that that's the way it works. I mean, you're not going to...
So let's go down this road. And by all means, like, we don't mean... We're just talking. We're just talking. Do you...
Leave a comment.
Do you go to certain places, or do you deal with certain people because there's a particular person there that you find maybe attractive, or like you like, not like you just, I don't know how maybe I'm saying it wrong. Like maybe you just find this person, their personality just gives off a certain kind of flair, so you always deal with them. I mean, is that like, maybe that's not in the whole does a sex sell thing, but do you know, like that, their personality, does it come to like just draw to you?
Probably. I'm sure that their personality, I can't particularly say that like I go to a certain bank because there's a cute teller there that I really like to talk to, or
right.
That seems a little awkward in life to run your life
right.
that way. But definitely personality, like you
right.
know, you're attracted to the way somebody interacts with you and the way they make you feel. And I think that sex is part of that, is it makes you feel a certain way.
Do you find it easier to deal with the opposite sex in certain situations versus...
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes. I mean, I think I have a hard time. Women, and I am a woman, women can be emotional in situations, and so that's tough to deal with. Even my own emotions of
right.
things. You know, you and I have talked about the fact that like conflict between two women, we put so many emotions in there, where men
right.
are like, what's the goal? Let's just get to the goal. And so that can be tough in certain situations where it's just easier to work with a man. But then I do, on the flip side of that, I feel really uncomfortable, or I try to be very aware of certain situations where I am working with a man, and just making sure that we have boundaries, and making sure that we kind of keep things the way that...
Right.
Somebody was telling me the other day of like having guardrails. Guardrails are not in a danger zone, but they're to prevent you from going to a danger zone. So...
I agree.
Which is kind of jumping ahead a little bit today. But
yeah, don't jump. Don't. You're like giving them the...
Don't look at our cheat sheet.
You just like ruined the whole... I mean, it's ridiculous. You ruined it.
I ruined so much. But so, I mean, so do you think that there are certain situations that you will go to a certain gender for certain things?
Maybe it depends. Sometimes if it's like maybe an emotional buy, maybe if I'm picking something out for my wife, I might go to someone, maybe if I know this is terrible, but like if I buy her flowers and we go to the florist and we get a female's opinion on this arrangement, do you think my wife would, this is her style, this is what she likes, do you get it?
All right, so I'm going to we're just talking here, right? We're just talking. So you're at the flower store and...
a florist.
And there's somebody who is 35, 5'9", I don't know, 120 pounds woman, or a 65-year-old grandma with her blowout haircut. Not blowout hair, whatever, like curler haircut, and who do you go to for the opinion?
Ooh, that's tough. I would probably go to the younger one, and probably because that would be more. I feel like would be more relevant to my wife's age. Mm-hmm. That's probably, and maybe it would be easier for me to chat with. I'd probably go to the younger one. I mean, honestly, I probably would. Same thing, like if I buying jewelry or something, I'm always shout out Matt Phillips. I feel like that's the only place I go to get jewelry. But like one of the ladies that work for him, like I'm always like asking like, oh, do you like this, or would you know, like, because I like the input from the female side of things. But then I mean, Matt's a great guy, and we always I always end up dealing with Matt. But,
and in this situation, it's different for you're married, I'm not, so those interactions are just it's different.
Yeah.
For this. Is it awkward if sex is selling to you because you are married? Is it less awkward for me if sex is selling to me because I'm not?
I think it's just the context and how people like how big are your guardrails, I guess.
Yeah.
We could go down that road. I do think that in certain and maybe like I've read too much into this, but I do feel like in certain situations that sex will sell way more than not.
Yeah.
And we go back to the whole like I'm not picking on pharmaceutical reps. Maybe it's just like you saw it in movies or you see it in things to where
you just like the donuts that the pharmaceutical reps are around. Yeah. You're always talking about food.
Well, and like even in the insurance business, like I have some females that I still follow in different states, and like
I think that's illegal. You follow
on social media.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I don't stalk them. But like they have great marketing ideas. And sometimes I find that maybe it's just, especially when it comes to social media, like I feel like sometimes it's just easier maybe for females versus males when it comes to advertising or doing things, or like it's just part of it. Like some of them are really good at Instagram story. And like they are, and I'm just like,
they all know that? Do you think that?
Oh, I do. I think that they have bought into it. I think that they have saw how it has increased their business, and they have said, "Hey, I'm going forward on this."
But I'm gonna say, and real quick before we move on, but I'm gonna say that it's their personality. I think if you draw in an audience to your social media, people could buy into you. Not saying that you're not, the picture of beauty, but people could buy into anyone. As long as you give them vulnerability and you give them realness, people will buy into that. That's the society we live in.
You know what time it is?
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
So I think this is a topic that you wanted to discuss, and I will agree with that because it's, as a previous business owner, I saw this.
Well, and we're going to talk about personal boundaries in your professional business.
Yes.
And how to deal with that and put the things in place.
How do you separate them? Mm-hmm. So let's just dive right in. What do you do to separate your current work, home? What do you do to separate them?
Nothing. I'm horrible. I'm so bad. To the extent of I was out to dinner for one of my daughter's birthday parties and somebody's at the Biz Foundry asking me to unlock the door. They can't get it open. I come over to unlock the door. Like, I'm just really bad.
Do you think that your kids do they resent that or get frustrated?
I think with my kids,
Or are they accustomed to it?
I think they kind of like it. I think they see that I'm in a leadership position. They, for Mother's Day, they wrote me a book. The 7-year-old wrote me a story about my podcast, and not Cashin the Check, but powered by her. And they're proud to be a part of what I'm doing. And so even when it comes to, I think they feel like the Biz Foundry is their home, or a second home to them. And I kind of like that they know that I can be a really good mom and I can work, but there are times where I need to say, okay, it's her birthday. I'm going to put the phone away and just not work.
I agree. When I was in the insurance business, I think my family was just so accustomed. Like if I had to work late, they were just accustomed to it. Mm-hmm. If I took a phone call on the weekends or after hours, my kids were accustomed to it. I think now in my position, and I will still take phone calls in the evenings. I will still work, if we have to. I'm learning to just say, can it wait till tomorrow? Mm-hmm. From when I get home, my kids are only little once. And I thought about this. My wife and I were having this chat last week. Like next week, our youngest daughter's nap stuff, it'll be the last time we ever send it to school. And I'm thinking, holy smokes. Like, and to some people that's exciting. But to me, I'm like, man, she's going to kindergarten. Like we don't do naps anymore. They're growing up. Mm-hmm. And so I need to be able to have those boundaries so that when I am with them, they get all of my attention and not just a portion of it.
I'm going to say, first of all, that I think, and this may leave a comment and let us know, But I think women can multitask a little bit better than men can. And so I can kind of...
I'll agree to that.
You know, be sitting at the table, helping with homework and answering emails. And I can kind of pivot real quick and go back and forth and I can juggle well. And so I think that's part of the thing. And I think that there are a lot more demands put on a mom as opposed to a dad. And so I think that there's a lot of times where I'm like, well, I do the whole, you know, we do dinner, I do nighttime routine, I read the books, I do all the whole morning stuff.
I will say that, especially like, you know, yesterday, like I had to cook dinner, and I'm not like I don't claim to be. I can grill, and my wife has even said like, you know, you're not a good cook. I can see where, especially from a female's perspective, like their ability to balance things are probably better. Now, I mean, there may be some males that are really good, but when I cook, like it's kind of like the only thing that I can do and not help the kids or the dogs or whatever, or I'm answering emails or, you know, I'm on the phone, and I'm just not that good at juggling all that like my wife is. My wife is fantastic. Like she can do all of that, and they're helping with things. I'm just not good with that. And so for me, I think that's why I really have to concentrate on my personal boundaries. So when I am home, I'm home. And when I'm at work, I'm at work.
I think part of my thing too is that I've worked hard to put myself in the position I'm at work. And so I had to kind of put some hustle and drive and commitment into this to be where I'm at. And so I think that again, we talk so much about balance, and there's always a balance for everything, and there's a tipping point. But I think you have to find the sweet spot of, okay, I'm committed and you can get a hold of me, and whenever you need me, I'm there. And then, okay, I've finally got my position where I need it to be, and I can turn my phone off at this point. And so I think if you start off as, you know, a $11 an hour employee, and you think, well, here's my work time, and I'm not, you know, available any other time, and I'm not, you know, or whatever. I think if you expect to get into that leadership position with too many boundaries, you're not going to get there.
I think it goes back to a couple weeks ago when Zach was on the podcast, and we talked about you want employees to have an entrepreneurial mindset where they take some ownership in things, so that I don't want to say that they're always going above and beyond or working hard or what, but you want them to have some ownership in what you're doing and believe in whatever it is you're doing, but also you still respect that they have boundaries, you know, so that they're not, you don't want someone to work all the time, but you want them to be available
if things come up. And I think that's, I have a hard time, I think I'm trying to do better and getting that better. I was out for 2 or 3 weeks. I had surgery back in March, and I really was like, I'm at least for these 2 days where I'm in the hospital, don't contact me. I don't care. But I'm so invested into what's going on, and I want to know, and I want to help, and I don't want anybody to be held up from what I'm doing. And so I think that's where I have a struggle with that. But there's times, and when you get into those leadership roles, you need to make sure you take the time.
I agree. And you don't want to get burnout.
For sure. With people who are business owners, and you're running your own business, and you're there every day, and you're grinding all the time, take a vacation, and things will not fall apart.
Refresh.
While you're gone. It will be okay.
I agree. I tried to take a day off last week, and someone was blowing up my phone because...
It was me.
But I also think that's just being good at what you do, investing and being invested in what you're doing, so that people, yes, I was off, but I still came in and I did things, and I answered some emails and did things.
Well, and I think sometimes when you're so interconnected, you can tell your boss you're taking a day off, but when you're working with so many other people, they don't know that you have taken a day off. And so when I was going to be gone for a couple weeks, everybody knew I was going to be off for a couple weeks because I'm so, you know, connected. People from different organizations needed to know that I wasn't going to be there. So
at the end of the day, let's jump right into
business
statistics. So let's talk about, this is a good one. How much revenue does Candy Crush, the game, bring in a day?
A day. Revenue a day.
A day.
It's like, is it how current is this? Is this kind of current?
This report was done.
I don't know if Candy Crush is like as prevalent as it used to be. But
This is a study done in 2014, so it's a little
that's
older.
okay. That's okay.
But still.
Okay, so $10,000 a day in 2014.
$633,000 a day in 2014. Wow. This is cool. Now remember, this is in 2014. Samsung accounts for what percentage of Korea's gross domestic product, or GDP?
Domestic. For like Korea, domestic, right?
Yeah.
That means. Is it a percentage you asked?
It's a percentage.
I'm gonna say for them maybe like 25.
Close, 20%. Ooh, this is a good one. As of 2014, Burt's Bees is owned by.
I've listened to their story on how I built this. Guy Raz. It's owned by a woman.
Owned by Clorox.
Well, she must have sold it out. My bad.
Do you know what the most productive day of the week is? I've told you this one before.
Yeah, I think so. Tuesday.
It is. See?
Yeah.
The quote-unquote new car smell is composed of over blank number of organic compounds. It's quite intriguing.
42.
50.
Wow. That's a lot of...
I know, to get the new car smell, think about that. If Bill Gates were
I just thought that was like what? So that's a smell, like a scent?
I mean, have you not saw like the air,
Yeah,
the
I guess,
fresheners,
but
like they
that's
hang down?
Okay.
If Bill Gates were a country, he'd be the blank richest on earth. What number would he be, I should say? Richest country on earth.
If you were a country, like his
wealth. Now remember,
worth
this is in 2014, so that's not
to the world.
Yeah, now this is in 2014.
He would be the 57th richest.
Actually, a little higher.
The number is higher, so that means he's lower in the rating. So it's like 75.
No. Lower. I'm sorry. Lower number.
He's ranked higher. Okay, so 35.
37th.
Wow.
No, but that was in 2014, so it could be a little different now.
37th? Like if he was ranking
the country
compared to countries, his personal wealth.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think that if you look at countries, there's probably a lot of variety.
I agree. This is a good one. Like, because we talked about this in our previous episode. What percentage of consumers have made a purchase decision based on its social media content? I think this number is actually a little low, but this is in 2014.
65.
Golly, you're on 64%. This is really cool. So this is interesting to me.
Have you bought things off Facebook just from seeing things on?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Like you go to look at something, Amazon, and then
Amazon gets me.
Oh, McDonald's first menu items were blank, not hamburgers. This is a good one. Like this is a
chicken nuggets.
No, it's probably gonna be something you're not thinking of. I don't think they serve this currently.
I feel like I did a report on Ray Crocker, something like that, whatever his name is, in elementary school because my grandma worked at McDonald's. I don't know.
Hot dogs.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
When I went to Iceland, they put mayonnaise on their hot dogs. Is that?
You've been to Iceland?
Yeah.
Oh.
Shout out to our personal stories.
Some of these, like, I'm just like mind blown.
Tell me the IKEA one. You've been trying so hard to do
I gotta
the
find it.
one.
This was it's kind of funny.
This is gonna be at the end of the day, mic drop, and our episode 6.
Oh. So as we wrap up, make sure you like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification because we're gonna end on this one. 1 in 10 Europeans are conceived in an IKEA bed. We're out. Shout out to Mark Farley for letting us do that. Shout out to
Jeff Brown. Thanks for the Biz Foundry.
Absolutely. Make sure you like, subscribe, guys. We're clocking out. We're done.